Hello and welcome back to JankTech. It's my series on Star Wars Unlimited with a focus on twin suns, other fun stuff, nothing sweaty, nothing meta. Although, can I even say that? I just did sectors like a week ago. Your girl got 162nd out of like 500. So I think that's pretty good for someone that doesn't really want to be a sweaty player. Anyway, before we get started with today's video, I'd just like to ask y'all to please like and subscribe as Boba Fett is showing here. It's really very cool how many people have been liking these and sharing these and like just enjoying Twin Suns because it's such a cool format. Just a quick shout out to my Discord friends up here at swupdx and the Nightsisters. Excellent spots to discuss Star Wars Unlimited. I will have links down below to those. So on with the show. What are we talking about today? Well, Secrets of Power is almost out. They've spoiled like about 200 cards, and I am just so excited to throw a bunch of these into Twin Suns decks. So without further ado, let's get into it. These are the 20 new cards that I am most excited about putting into a Twin Suns deck. I apologize for the clickbaity title, but we got to draw the line somewhere. 20 is a nice even number. Okay, so Rebel Propagandist. When played and when defeated, give another friendly unit +1/+0 and Saboteur for this phase. I say this again and again and again. Sentinel, Sentinel, Sentinel in this format. And this guy, both when he comes in and when he goes, gives one of your guys Saboteur. That's awesome. That bypasses Sentinels. That can make or break your ability to win this game. Such a cool card. Oh my goodness. Cicatro Vizago. Okay, we got this. On attack, reveal the top card of your deck. An opponent may pay 1 resource if they don't draw that card. We've got 3 opponents. We've got to have at least one person that used all their resources. And the great thing about this is it's an on attack. So you can dirtle along, wait on attacking with this guy in the hopes that someone spends all of their resources, and then you get extra card draw out of it. Super cool. Also, I I love this robot in the back here. Excuse me, droid. Just looks very cool. Next up, we got Vel Sartha, in addition to being a sapphic figure, which a lot of us at the Nightsisters really, really appreciate. She is just like awesome in every possible way. For 5 resources, you get a 4/6 raid 2. And each exhausted enemy unit gets -2, -0 while defending. The amount of impact that Vel has on the board state, I don't think we can overstate that. That just debuffs everything when you're swinging into it. That is incredible. She's an uncommon, so it's like super easy to get a hold of this once this new set rolls out. I can't wait to throw Vel into a Twin Suns deck. I think every yellow deck with Vel, like you got to put Vel in there. Like she's going to be the seasoned fleet admiral of yellow. Krea's Whispers. Draw 3 cards, then put a card from your hand on the top of your deck and another card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. So this does a few things. Obviously, we get to look at 3 new cards. We get to cycle our hand. You get to stack the top of your deck for something else, and you get to put something else on the bottom that you don't really care about. It also works magnificently with anything else that works off of card draw. I just think this is so cool. It's going to help go through your 80 card deck and get you the things that you need. It's cheap. It's only 2 resources. I love this. I cannot wait to use this. The Wrong Ride. It costs 3. And for that 3, you exhaust 2 enemy resources, and it's a plot card. So let's talk about plots for just a moment, because I haven't brought them up yet, because we haven't really talked much about Secrets of Power. Plot cards say when you deploy a leader, you may play this card from your resources, paying its cost, replace it with the top card of your deck. So it's kind of like a smuggle, but you get action compression, which is always good no matter the format. You get to do a bunch of things all at once if you can pay for them. And for a card that you get at the same time as a leader, getting to exhaust someone else's stuff is incredibly impactful. And the very cool thing about this is it just says 2 enemy resources. They don't have to be the same person. You can distribute that around the board. You could even play this is not, you could play multiples of these in another format. Obviously, Twin Suns, you're going to have one. Maybe someone else has one too. Being able to deny people huge actions on their flip turns is very cool. Being that we are going to potentially be deploying 2 leaders in Twin Suns, we'll have multiple opportunities to use plot, especially if our leaders are different resource costs. This is just such a cool way of changing the tempo of other players at specific times in the game. This is so cool. I can't wait to see how plot works in Twin Suns. And speaking of another plot card, it's Chancellor Palpatine. I am the Senate. He looks like he's on a toilet. Okay. When played, if you control a leader unit, create 2 spy tokens and give those tokens Sentinel for the phase. And it's got plot. So you can play this guaranteed if you control a leader unit. Because again, plot is when you deploy your leader. So this will give your leader protection. It will give your base protection on... let's be real here. Our leader turns are when we deploy our leaders, that is one of the most critical turns in this game. You want to make sure that you're getting your bang for your buck with your leader because most of them only deploy as an epic action. So you want to make sure they don't immediately get killed. Well, Palpatine protects you. He protects your leader. Getting sentinels on the board is just awesome. I mean, spies, they're just 0-2s with raid. So they're not going to hit back for anything, but they are going to discourage people from trying to hit you and waste their swing. I love this. I think this is going to be really cool if you're playing a green villain deck. And Green Hero gets something extra cool too. The Naboo Royal Starship fits for a queen. Each friendly leader unit gains raid 2 and overwhelm, and it is a plot. Oh my gosh. So you get this for both of your leaders in Twin Suns. That is incredibly cool. Raid 2 and Overwhelm. If you're running this with Petronaki Arena, you can get +1/+0 along with it. Since it's a 4 cost, you could play this in an aggro deck with aggro leaders, and you might be able to just go to base, run over people's guys and go to base even if you can't, even if you're going against a sentinel. I think this is such a cool card. And the fact that it works for all of your leaders is extra cool. Jar Jar. Okay, I've been singing the praises of Jar Jar since the starter decks were spoiled. Spotlight decks. When played, you may give another friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase, and it is a plot. You can plot Jar Jar out. He'll make leaders like IG-88 harder to kill. He'll make a leader like Sabine hit extra hard. I think that this is so cool that it gets a little bit more juice with your leaders. It's going to cause everybody to do math a little bit differently, knowing that somebody could be packing a Jar Jar. And for just 2 extra resources to buff your leader by that much for the phase, that ain't nothing. I think Jar Jar is going to be pretty good, y'all. I don't know how he's going to be in Premiere. I'm not the one to ask about that. I think in Twin Suns, it's great. Because here's the other cool thing about plot. It's kind of like Smuggle. Granted, you can only play your plot cards from your resources when you deploy, but you get 2 chances to do that in this format. I think plot cards are going to be great in Twin Suns because it is a card you can say, I don't feel bad about resourcing this. I'm going to get it out later. And yeah, like if you're playing Jar Jar for 2 as your first turn play, that feels bad. We don't want Jar Jar for that. We want to throw him in our resources until we need him. I think this card is so cool. Arinda Price. Oh my gosh. When defeated, you may defeat another friendly unit. If you do, deal 4 damage to each enemy base. Of course, Thrawn, the JTL Thrawn players are already salivating at getting to kill 2 of their people to deal 8 damage to each enemy base. This is ridiculous. Of course, you need to make sure that you have enough units on board in order to make her when defeated mean anything. But another cool thing about her is maybe you stack a bunch of upgrades on her. You incentivize people to kill her. Nobody's going to want to kill her because she is so nasty, at least not until they can remove all of your other stuff. It's so cool. The fact that she can blow up everyone else's base is so scary. I think she's going to make some games really, really, really interesting. And by the same token, Chopper, you know what, let's get a bigger one up here. We'll get the convention exclusive Chopper. So Chopper is a 2-cost. 4/1, when it deals combat damage to a base, each player discards a card from their hand. This is just, Chopper makes you discard from your hand too. But as long as you're playing a deck that has card draw built into it, maybe you're running him with the Cassian leader from the first set, well, it's not going to hurt you as bad. Or you're just going to get people to burn their removal on a turn 1 play here. I think this is going to be great. But like the fact that Chopper can cause so much carnage, even with one successful attack to base, I think that is so cool. Oh my gosh. It's like, this is one of those, you're going to remove this little robot jerkus on sight if you are not playing him. The punishing one, oh my goodness. So this is Dengar's, the part of his like redemption arc, I guess, when he's just like, oh, you know what? I don't need to be like super evil. I can just be like kind of a jerk. Because you can run this in hero decks too, because it's just aggression. Gains raid 1 for each damaged enemy unit. When played and on attack, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. This is great with pinging leaders. You could run this in Quinlan. A bunch of stuff will be pinged. You could run this in Mace because you probably have other things that are pinging. You can run this in Cad Bane, in Pilot Boba Fett, in Darth Vader. There's so many leaders that are going to love the punishing one in their decks. And of course, if you play it for 5, next turn you play War Juggernaut, you're going to have a couple of real big chonkus units that it's just going to be so awful. Oh my goodness. And of course, yeah, let's not forget, I'm GI players, I see you. Of course, you can ready this with this first set Grand Inquisitor and get an extra bit of damage. This is great. I love this. It's like the fifth brother, but of ships. Heck yeah. Screeching Tie. I think this is absolutely going to be a staple in like every villain yellow deck, no matter what. Probably in Premier too. It's a 2/1 for 1, so already it's like basically the same as a Tie LN, except it's also yellow. On attack, you may choose a ground unit. If you do, it loses its keywords and can't gain keywords for this phase. That gets rid of Sentinels, y'all. That gets rid of Overwhelm. That gets rid of Grit. So many things. This just says, no, you don't get that. You attack with this first. You say, hey, your turret, your turret Sentinel, get that out of here. We're going by it. We don't need to play a turrets game. I love this. Oh my gosh. It gives you so much flexibility in how you can interact with the rest of the board. Super cool. And the fact that we have another low-cost space unit that we can play in Villainy. Of course, Vader pilot players are going to love this. I think anytime we get more early game stuff in Twin Suns, that's always great. Arrest. I've been talking about capture ever since I started talking about Twin Suns in this channel. I still maintain capture is good. This is an especially good capture card because it gets rid of a lot of the downside of capture. Arrest. Your base captures an enemy non-leader unit. At the start of the regroup phase, its owner rescues it. So you only detain it for a little bit, but it prevents it from attacking that phase. If it had a bunch of upgrades stacked up on it, it gets rid of those. You still get to collect bounties on it if you're doing bounty stuff. This is just such a cool card, and it's a lot harder to rescue something from a base as opposed to a unit. Yes, there's still cards like the L3 from the second set that just say you may rescue a unit. But for the most part, there's not a lot of cards that specifically rescue as opposed to just defeat stuff. And I just really like that you're just going to hold something for a little bit. This is very cool. Just gets rid of a problem unit for a turn. Furtive Handmaiden. It's a 2/2 for 1, already a deal. On attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. It's just more cycling. Of course, yeah, this works amazingly well with Padme and anything else that interacts with the discard pile. But being able to cycle through your deck, find the cards you need. I say this phrase so much, but I think this is such a good deal with the Furtive Handmaiden because you can also play another unit most of the time when you play this. I think this is a great first turn play, especially if you draw a handful of garbage and you're just like, oh, what do I do? Well, at least if you have the Furtive Handmaiden, you're getting sort of like this R2-D2 effect going on. Sly Moore, Witness to Power. 2/6 for 4. Huge butt. When played for this phase, each enemy unit gets -2, -0 while it's attacking a base. Not just your base, any base. This debuffs the whole friggin' table when things are swinging at base. It's a plot card. You can plot her out with a 6 resource leader, a 7 resource leader. And it will completely screw up all the math. If you are bringing out Sly in the late game of Twin Suns, especially on the phase where everybody is scrambling to do math and say, okay, if I do 5 damage to this person's base, then the next person can swing and take them out and heal. And do I have enough to deal with that? Or who do I need to attack? Sly is going to make all that math just completely worthless. Like, I'm so excited to see how cards like Slime War impact the board because it's going to just debuff everything. So exciting. Darth Scion, look at this Grungus here. Oh my gosh. He's a 5/5 for 5. When played, give an experience token to this unit for each enemy unit that was defeated this phase. Like, we want to hang out and and sow the seeds of discontent amongst our opponents to get them to attack each other, kill each other's stuff. If 3 or 4 things die that weren't ours, then great. Darth Scion comes in as an 8/8 or a 9/9. And also, when defeated, if he had more than 7 or more power, return him to owner's hand. This is awesome. We can just keep playing him again. For something that big and that gross, that is incredible to be able to keep on playing. Yeah, it's a legendary. It deserves to be a legendary. And my God, my goodness, I hope I can pull some of these because this one seems like it might be an expensive card. Although we'll see. You know, like I was wrong about Malik being an expensive card. Obviously, something like Darth Scion in Revan or Twilight Maul. I think these are going to be great leaders to pair with him because you can afford to be aggressive with him because you can keep playing him. We can sneak attack him in and play him again after that. Just super cool. I love units that you can get a lot of uses out of, and the Lord of Pain here certainly can. Populist Advisor. It's a 1/4 for 1. When an enemy unit deals combat damage to your base, gain Sentinel for this phase. So yeah, this doesn't look that exciting, but it's a 1-cost card with a big butt that turns into a Sentinel. You don't have to do anything else with this guy. You get hit once, and then he's just going to block everything else. And as we've said before, the moment you have a Sentinel and someone else doesn't, that makes their decisions way easier. Are they going to waste their turn going into your 1-cost Populist Advisor? Or are they just going to swing at somebody that can't block that attack? I love this. I think this guy, I'm going to probably put this guy in all my Hero Blue decks. I think he is so good at discouraging people. I mean, this is like a no-brainer in draft as well. Like, what a cool card. It definitely will force your opponents to think about how they sequence their turns, which leads to decision fatigue. This is great. This is just such a fun card. I love it. Bo-Katan. Whew. Okay, so she's 9. So we're going to need to delay a little bit. I'm very much wondering if plot will slow the pace of the game down because of what we've potentially seen already with Slime War or Jar Jar, or whatever else happens to gum up the works when a leader deploys and somebody plays something from the resource row that no one else was expecting. So if we can get to 9, Bo-Katan, she's an 8/8. She's huge, y'all. When played, give each enemy unit -3/-3 for this phase. That's so much. Oh my gosh, that is so much debuffing. And when an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. So she is just a board wipe, essentially. And if you can kill a whole bunch of stuff with her, you get to give experience to your guys with that initial play. And then anytime an enemy unit is defeated, anytime one of your other opponent's things go away, or rather defeated, excuse me, not returned to hand, just defeated, experience to a friendly unit. She's also like, she's like a Gideon Hask and a bombing run combined. So good. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I cannot wait to play Bo-Katan. The Eye of Aldani. At the start of the next action phase, for each enemy unit, its controller must pay 1 resource or exhaust that unit. I feel like this seems like a Magic the Gathering card. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. It's like propaganda or smothering tithe or something like that. I don't play that much Magic. But this is that kind of BS that Magic has. And now we have it in Star Wars. This is like who saw this card and didn't immediately think that's a Twin Suns card? I don't think we want to play this at the earliest opportunity. This is one that you want to wait to play. This is one that maybe you just play outmaneuver earlier in the phase and then you play this. And then people are like, oh, well, after you outmaneuver, well, I'm going to come back and get them next time. Well, Eye of Aldani, now they've got to make some really difficult decisions about how many resources they want to pay if they have a lot of units. And what if someone hasn't deployed their leaders yet? What if they wanted to plot something out? You've really screwed up everybody's resources. You're making people think a lot more thinking, more decisions, more mistakes. I love this. This is like, please, more stuff like this. This is so fun. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then last but not least, honorable mention to Intra Battle Hoth, Admiral Ozzel. This was most of the reason I bought Intra Battle Hoth, because I want to stick this Ozzel in a Twin Suns deck. It's a 3/1 for 3. When defeated, each opponent discards a card from their hand. Are you kidding me? Like, especially if you run this with Thrawn, any when defeated, you can just say with Thrawn. But like, no one wants Ozzel to hit them, but no one wants to kill him either, because he's just going to make everybody discard. I love this. I love this so much. I think they're giving us a lot of good stuff with these new sets. I'm very much looking forward to running these. So that's going to do it for me for this one. Again, this was 20 cards. I can't wait to put into Twin Suns decks once they come out. Obviously, we've got Ozzel now, so I could probably sneak him into something, but it's technically not legal. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. I am going to be recording some more stuff as soon as I finish this, so we're going to have a bunch of new videos out. So thanks for sticking with me, y'all, and until those videos, let's do this again sometime.